In today's topic, we'll be arguing that globalization enabled by information technology is having a positive impact on people's lives. Information technology has influenced societies in many different aspects. One of its biggest impacts is that it has enabled globalization around the world. According to the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, globalization is defined as an increasing internationalization of markets for goods and services, the means of production, financial systems, competition, corporations, technology, and industries. In this video, we will be discussing the impact globalization has had on people's lives and demonstrate that the positive impacts of globalization far outweigh the negative. Our arguments will be centered on economic growth, environmental awareness, education development, and political influence in the modern world. Let's talk about the impact of globalization on economic growth. Rapid economic growth is one of the most apparent contributions of globalization. With foreign investments and intercontinental trades, international economies becoming increasingly interconnected. Advances in communication and information technology, combined with free market ideology, have given goods, services, and capital unprecedented mobility. One of the measures of globalization on nations' economies is GDP. There was significant acceleration of GDP growth of the globalizers, from 1.4% in the 1960s to 5% in the 1990s. As shown from the chart, this acceleration in economic growth is even more remarkable given that the rich countries saw a steady decline in the 90s. In addition, the non-globalizers did much worse than the globalizers, declining to only 1.4% during the 1990s. This evidence proves that, contrary to popular belief that developing countries are unable to take advantage of globalization, increased trade and foreign investments aided by advances in communication and information technology has strongly encouraged growth and wealth and the overall health of the economy. When the economy is healthy, it typically results in lower unemployment and wage increases as businesses meet the demand of the growing economy. So, how does faster economic growth influence developing countries that are engaged in globalization? We believe that globalization is a catalyst for wealth distribution amongst developing countries and reduces the inequality between the rich and the poor. The combination of economic growth and information technology in the globalizers has considerably reduced poverty. The fraction of the population of these countries living below the $1 a day poverty threshold fell sharply between the 1980s and the 1990s, from 60 to 40% in Bangladesh, from 84 to 16% in China, and from 17 to 8% in Brazil, as shown in the graph. Therefore, globalization has increased the average income of half of the world's poorest people, and even bigger for countries that have escaped poverty. But is globalization still leaving poorer countries behind? Anne Harrison stated in her paper, Globalization and Poverty, that the relationship between globalization and poverty is complex. The evidence strongly suggests that the growth in exports and foreign investments has reduced poverty everywhere, from Mexico to India to China. This relationship depends not only on trade or financial globalization, but also on the interaction of globalization with the rest of the economic environment, which includes investments in education, governance and institutions, macroeconomic stability, and environmental sustainability, all of which are also improved by globalization. This brings us to environmental awareness. Globalization has made it easier for people to access information outside of their region. Information is easily propagated through international television channels and the internet. This is all possible due to the fact that globalization blurs the borders between countries around the world. Social media such as Facebook and Twitter allow environmental activists to advocate for events such as the International Tree Day, and also raise awareness about climate change and its long-term effects. In addition, multinational corporations are focusing on conducting environmental research and developing eco-friendly technologies. These technologies help spread environmental awareness to both the producers and the consumers. By encouraging consumers to buy eco-friendly products, companies are raising environmental awareness, which has become part of their corporate social responsibility. Information technology has helped global companies like Apple to develop products that are environmentally sustainable and use renewable energy at its facilities. Innovative digital books are created to raise individual awareness of environmental issues. These technologies are highly interactive and readily available across the globe. Environmental digital books provide valuable content with visual aids to stress the importance of environmental issues. Our Choice is a popular digital book that was designed by Al Gore and Mike Matas. It reached millions of people and was featured in many media outlets as an environmental awareness tool. By means of information technology and globalization, great tools can convey and standardize important environmental information to a wider audience. As the world becomes increasingly global, it is likely that information and technology would also cause environmental issues. Information technology is continuing to evolve and is surely but slowly becoming more efficient. The current individuals are more interested in the economic growth rather than the effect of their practices on the environment. This is why technology is considered a double-edged tool in our time. The environmental Kuznets curve states that there will be a turning point in the environmental damage caused by information technology when it becomes mature and more efficient. At that time, information technology will help reduce the environmental damage that is caused by ill practices of spreading globalization through information technology. Globalization has had a profound impact on education. Modern technology used globally has reduced the cost of education, dramatically improved its convenience, and changed the way the world communicates. The creation of massive open online courses enabled by the internet have allowed for unlimited participation and open access to education through the web, regardless of the participant's location. Due to this, more students can enroll in higher education programs than ever before. In fact, foreign enrollments into post-secondary education has increased fivefold since 1975. Non-profits such as Khan Academy offer several courses with topics ranging from humanities to sciences, which are accessible online free of charge, while others are available at a relatively low cost from for-profits such as Udacity. Unlike a traditional course, virtual offerings can accommodate many more students. This is made possible by the reduced costs of logistics, since all communication is performed over the internet. Apart from formal education, people can also access information more readily through the use of the internet, and can develop their knowledge more easily outside of a classroom setting at a very low cost. Due to globalization, it is evident that developing countries are experiencing a brain drain. However, expatriates are a vital source of income for many countries, which has significant benefits to local GDP. According to the World Bank, remittances received by developing countries totaled up to $325 billion in 2010, more than doubling the financial aid sent by the US in that year. Furthermore, migration and circulation of ideas worldwide allows for a vivid exchange of knowledge, which has led to massive global scientific collaborations, such as the Large Hadron Collider. These advancements in technological and scientific innovations are possible predominantly due to the increasingly global world. Global use of information technology has also resulted in the availability of books produced in an electronic format. These e-books are often priced at a fraction of their printed versions, since their production and distribution costs are much lower and are therefore more accessible to the general public. This is complementary to online course formats and lowers the cost of education while making content that is generated by scholars from around the globe available to the entire world. Another benefit of globalization is how it has had a significant impact on global politics. Social media has played a vital role in shaping the Arab Spring. During this revolutionary period, Egypt, Tunisia, Libya, and Yemen have had their undemocratic and suppressive governments removed from power. The role of social media can be quantified by the number of Facebook posts, tweets, and YouTube videos that were generated in about a month before the governments or dictators were forced to step down. For example, in Tunisia, the number of posts related to the uprising increased from 5% to 20% in a month before 100,000 people protested in the street to force the government to give up power. One might argue that social media has been a dangerous tool used by the people to create political instability. However, it provides a great tool to every ordinary person to voice their opinion in a politically suppressive regime where freedom of speech is not exercised by law. It allows people to create constructive conversations about the growth of democracy while engaging a worldwide audience, and as such improves the state of the global community and how it is governed. Social media, driven through contemporary technologies, has allowed for an international discussion on global politics and has helped organize massive protests to topple undemocratic governments. It has given power back to the oppressed, which has enlightened the world and become a force for justice for those who could not see hope before. In conclusion, globalization enabled by information technology is certainly having a positive impact on people's lives. The positive economic effects of globalization on developing countries is apparent with the evidence seen in the acceleration of GDP growth. The easy access to information due to globalization has had many positive effects as well, including the increase of environmental awareness worldwide. Globalization enabled by information technology allows more students to enroll in and have access to higher education. Furthermore, the advancements in scientific discoveries through global collaborative efforts has been immense. Lastly, social media has provided a great tool for people around the world to voice their opinions and engage politically. Therefore, globalization enabled by information technology has had an obvious positive impact on people's lives, which is evident in economic growth, environmental awareness, educational development, and the spread of democracy enabled by social media. Thank you for watching our presentation on the positive impacts of globalization.